Welcome to In a Nutshell by Joseph Anthony, illustrated by Cris Arbo. Let's turn to that's right, the title page, In a Nutshell. And it says Joseph Anthony. That is the author. That's right. And we know that author writes the story. Author writes the story. Author writes the story. That's why he came first. Then it says by Cris Arbo. You're right, the illustrator. Good job. And we know that illustrators illustrate, illustrators illustrate, illustrators illustrate, which means he made the pictures for In a Nutshell. Dawn sparkled on the great forest. What a beautiful picture. Do you see the bird? I see the bird. Good eyes. High in the treetops, plump acorns were leaving their sunlit home and falling into darkness below. One little acorn wanted to stay in the light forever, but soon lost its grip and fell too. A moment later, it landed with a thump and lay still. The forest floor was very, very dark. Somewhere deep inside, the acorn knew it must get back to the sunlight. It would have to break free of its shell and become bigger than it was. So when the season was right, the acorn burst open. It pushed out roots and a stem and stretched itself into a tiny sapling. The sapling took food from the wet soil. It soaked up every drop of light its tiny leaves could reach. It grew a little more each day. As days passed into years, the sapling discovered that becoming an oak wasn't easy. Hungry mouths nibbled it. Vines choked it. Sometimes it was icy cold. At other times, it was burning hot. Hard times helped make the sapling strong as it grew into a tree. Yet even the strongest trees weren't safe from everything. Still, it kept on growing and reaching for the sun. Years passed, and what was once a small acorn became the tallest tree in the forest with deep roots and sturdy branches. Countless leaves touched the sunlight. They turned the light into life that filled the tree and flowed over. It dropped acorns of its own, giving life to little oak trees and food for the forest creatures. To many, the tree gave a home. I see birds. I see a squirrel. I see children. I see other birds. I saw over here a squirrel and 1, 2, 3 turkeys eating the acorns. But when it was old and tired, and its limbs and roots were rotten, the mighty tree could grow no more. Its life as an oak was almost over. The only way for it to become bigger than it was now was to die. When the tree fell, its crash shook the whole forest. Worms and bugs took the tree's life and returned it into soil. Finally, the tree became a pile of rich, dark earth. No one remembered that it was once a living tree grown from an acorn. It seemed that the oak was gone forever when another tree was planted there. The life of the oak passed from the soil into the new tree, a cherry tree. Do you see the bird hiding in the cherry tree, just like the birds were in the oak tree? Oh, look at those yummy, yummy cherries. When the cherry tree grew up, birds ate the fruit, scattering cherry seeds and new life through the forest. Just like the oak and its acorns. Until the life of the little acorn became part of everything. The end. Thank you for sharing In a Nutshell by Joseph Anthony, illustrated by Cris Arbo.